All right. Hi, everyone. Yes, good. Today, I'm going to introduce my presentation called Every Aboriginal Should Visit Turtle Island. So, let's start off with who am I? Your host, your guide, your Aboriginal guide taking you through this great land called Turtle Island. My name's Kawaia Jackson. I'm a wife, a mother, and a Cherokee Aborigine, descendant of the Antavieon clan. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. So, what is Turtle Island? Turtle Island is this great, beautiful, most diverse land in the country called America. And our ancestors believe that America was on a turtle's back. And in fact, our people created a calendar of a turtle shell that you can see here that included 13 months and 28 days, very similar to that of a woman's cycle. Our people had advanced knowledge of the land and its creatures and were very interconnected. And today, I'm going to show you a little bit more about those people and this land. So, welcome to Turtle Island. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should stay and visit again. First is our technology, the many achievements of the American Aborigine. So, let's see what pre-colonization America looked like. But first, I have to introduce the great, the one and only American Aborigine, known as the Native of America and the copper-colored race, according to the Webster's Dictionary of 1828. I wanted to show you our inequity, our deep history for this land. We are the heart and soul, and we've been here since the beginning of time, which is the definition of an Aborigine. And you can see that in the accurate depiction of America from 1671. As stated, we are the heart and soul of this land. And I just want to give you a visualization of what I mean by that. This is a map of the trails in America. The one on the left is my hand-drawn version, and the one on the right is the entire country. There is not a single rock left unturned by our people. We have traced every single inch of this country, and we have been here since the beginning of time, which we led the way for what America is known for today, including the modern highways, which are just an overpavement of our people's trails, according to the National Park Service of American Indian roads and trails. Not only that, we are inventors. We are practitioners of medicine. And we invented the needle known today for injections and IVs, which was a hollow bird bone that was sharpened to a point and connected to an animal bladder used for injecting fluids. And in fact, our shaman, when they became practitioners of medicine, they took an oath, much stronger than the oath that the doctors take today. They took an oath that if so many patients on their hands were to die, they would in fact be killed themselves. That's how serious they took their job. That's how serious their commitment to their people were. I couldn't imagine a doctor today doing that. Not only that, we built the most tall and greatest temples in the world, as well as statues. We built great towers and pyramids of stone that were surrounded by water. And when the Spanish colonizers got here, they questioned whether it was all a dream and if they had walked into heaven, according to the true history of the conquest of New Spain, 1568. And that's my little Olmec guy in the corner. He's so cute. Then we have the Great Pyramid of Cholula, which is actually the greatest pyramid in the entire world by volume. Although on top of it, you see a little white house that was built on top of our beautiful temple, defiling it. Its beauty and greatness still stands, regardless of what blasphemy was committed against it. Our people use this for worship, and often the bones of the ancestors were buried in these very mounds right here, giving it power. So now that you've learned about the achievements and advancements of our technology and our people, let's teach you a little bit about the rich culture of the island and why we're known worldwide for such culture. Here, you can see in the Coming to America dance, American dancers are very talented. And although this is not a true depiction of their dance moves, it is very close and a very beautiful dance nonetheless. Here's a beautiful woman from Brazil in the Rio Carnival showing you what our people look like all dressed up, embracing their heritage. And I wanted to show you guys a little bit about some deeper history that you might not know. This is a picture of me spinning wool yarn. And I'm not spinning it for crocheting, actually. I'm spinning it to make true fabric. Our ancestors used backstrap weaves to weave beautiful, intricate, handmade fabrics, which was compiled of sticks and rods. Not only that, we painted our face with clays to cleanse our body, honor the ancestors, and also practical reasons to disguise and mask ourselves from the animals we were hunting. So this would help mask our smell and allow us to be the most advanced of hunters, including that of the bison. Our people wore great tall feathers in their hair. They were never shy. They were always proud. They wore bright colors and patterns to make this world a lot more beautiful. So now that you know a little bit about our culture, couldn't share everything, but I shared a good bit that made us famous worldwide. Let's talk about the community behind it. Although the community today is far from perfect, we are still a very tight-knit and memorable community. And I wanted to look into what community meant in the past and what it could mean today, should we choose to let it. Well, the first step to gaining recognition as an Indigenous Aboriginal people is to embrace your individual Aboriginal heritage. And according to the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, if you decide to believe what your grandmother told you about being Indian, then you have every right to do so. And not a single person on this earth could stop you, actually. So I wanted to show you a little bit about the history of our people. They made great teepees, not just towers and pyramids, but teepees as well. More modest, but still nonetheless all the beautiful. And these are the Indians of the Great Plains. They would skin bison hides, soak it in an alkaline solution to allow the hair to fall off, and then meticulously and laboriously scrape the hair and skin off of it until it created their home. And they would use these, they would construct them and deconstruct them and carry them across all of the West and hunt of the bison. But, when the colonizers came here and European Americans started to kill the bison by the millions, it dramatically decreased our autonomy in this world. So I wanted to show you a little bit about what is known today as the city of Mexico City. But this was actually once an Aztec city, which was built over. And when the colonizers got here in 1542, they said that these lands were so full of people, it is as if God had placed the greatest part of the human race here. And that is a very good quote, summarizing what our people were capable of. Not only that, we were expert agriculturalists. We knew how to farm the land with expertise, the knowledge passed down generation by generation. This is called a chinapa. It is an artificial island, a man-made island surrounded in water burrows that would allow very little water loss to the plants, allowing the crops to grow strong and in harmony, according to the National Park Service, Department of Interior. Our people were farmers. For a good bit of history, We farmed majority of the food in America. That's what we were known for. And we had a deep connection to the land. Like I said, we are the heart and soul of this land. But there came a time when melanated Americans, the true Aborigines, owned 20 million acres in this country, which is nearly 20% of privately owned land in America. That was in the early 1900s. But within a century, over 90% of that land was stolen, which amassed to a total of $326 billion in loss to our people. So maybe that's where Bill Gates got his money. I can't say. But the fact remains, we had a great amount of land that was stolen by underhanded, manipulative tactics by banks and governments. According to Harvard law, how the governments help white Americans steal Black farmland. This is not conjecture, this is fact. But regardless, there has been an increase of melanated people returning to the land, remembering our roots, and standing in that beautiful history, something that they could never take away, not truly. So I urge each and every one of you to remember who you are, to reclaim your identity as an American Aborigine and stand in that light. It's time for us to rebuild our community, to love one another. Even though many underhanded tactics have been used to pin us against each other, we could never fall, and we are still here. They say they wiped out all the Native Americans, but they just changed their identity. We are still here. They could never take us out. So I told you 3 reasons why every Aboriginal should visit Turtle Island. Those reasons were our technology and the rich history and advancements of our culture, our vast, rich culture itself across all of Americas, but specifically North America today. And then I told you a little bit about our community and how we might be able to rebuild it. So I want to thank each and every one of you very much for visiting Turtle Island with me, and I hope that you return. I dedicate this presentation to my husband Antavieon and my daughter Sequoia. Thank you, everyone.